like we already clashing just on difference of opinion, but putting the business with it, I think a lot of times Trip was more business oriented. I was more family oriented. So I'm looking for like pardon on it. I'm making excuses for myself. Yo, I have a lot going on. I'm looking for like understanding and
we are emotional,
Right.
Mm-hmm. And then we got all kind of traumas going on that also cater to how we deal with confrontation.
How did you find ways to get past those moments of just like, you know, bumping heads and still seeing a business venture in a future?
And still I feel no pressure. Surrounded by dogs, giving you game, we giving you lecture. Say thank you to God, we got another day to be better. And if it get hard, just need another day with the fellas. We about to give you that work. Say your name like it's church. We finna give you that work. Just like Serena we serve. You want the truth by your shirt. My phone get fly like bird. But we all lost boys, no search. But we all lost boys, no search.
Right.
Welcome to the Nun The Wizer podcast. I'm here with my brothers. I know you get mad. This is our true leader right here that gets us through everything. Cause I know he gets mad when I don't have this
type of intro.
You feel what I'm saying? This is seriously, this is the guy, the head honcho right here. My guy Trip in the building with us. We got Senior Audio over here, my man Podcast Poe, and then me. Come on, get the camera on me. Thank you.
Faster.
Appreciate
and Amara on the.
and Amara holding down the cameras, plural. Hold her down. Yeah.
I heard that.
Yeah, I heard that. That was actually pretty loud. I appreciate that.
Nun The Wizer is a thought-provoking podcast that challenges the notion of certainty and expertise. By engaging discussions, Nun The Wizer invites listeners to embrace the wisdom of humility and curiosity and the power in not knowing.
Let's go.
That's a very big way of saying we know what we know, we don't know what we don't know, and we try and figure some shit out in between.
That's it.
That's pretty much what it's.
That's all it is.
You know what I mean?
That's all it is.
But that's
a good job.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, gentlemen,
Sweat.
we are here. I know. He's like, I'm a little nervous, but we're here. We want to kind of give you guys insight of how we got here. So I'm gonna. All right, this dude getting on my nerves. I'm about to go in there and tell him stop dropping the weights.
There's a gym next door, guys.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
So obviously before we were doing this, for those who don't know, you guys had your own podcast.
Yes.
I've dabbled in podcasts and things of that nature. So what was the podcast before we were doing this? Well, you guys did a podcast together. What was the name of the podcast?
The podcast came after.
All of the other cool stuff.
Yeah.
But let's just start with the podcast first.
Podcast.
I'll divulge in all the other stuff. So let's discuss the podcast. So you guys did a podcast. It was called
Nonchalant
Podcast.
Yep.
It was you and it was just you and Trip.
It was
right?
just me and Trip for the first 5 to 6 episodes or something like that. And then later on, we took a little break because we moved locations. And then Jasmine, it was just us three.
Jasmine.
Yep. Then Jasmine was added.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't know that Jasmine was a part of that. So,
she was great.
So what happened?
She was great.
So you guys were doing good. You added Jasmine and it went to shit.
Yeah.
Because we ain't know shit.
Yeah. For lack of better words, yeah. I think it was just, again, I think today we're in a space where we're allowed or we're more well read in the space, what to do, what not to do, how to get here. Before we didn't even prepare. We just said like, yo, let's do a podcast, and we got to it.
Literally, we
Is
went
that
out.
how that worked? He was just like, yeah, let's do a podcast. Got a camera out.
I mean, we
Got an
talked about
iPhone,
it
so.
for a little bit because we would just be on the phone almost every day, an hour long, talking about
Crazy.
all kinds of things.
Yeah.
We were just like, yo, after probably like, I would say maybe 3 weeks, a month, honestly, maybe even a little longer, but
Maybe.
like, it was like, yo, we got to do a podcast.
Yep.
We went to the store, Target, grabbed some stuff.
We grabbed 2 headphones, we grabbed an extension for the head, or like a splitter, so we could both hear. And then we grabbed a couch or a futon or whatever it was from Walmart for like one something.
Was it that black one that folds?
Yeah. And a red space rug.
Everyone's own back point.
And a red space rug, and we got to it. Oh, and a space heater, because we was definitely in my mom's basement cooking.
Yeah, your mom's basement is cold. No joke. It gets cold.
Shout out to Mama Po though, you know what I'm saying?
It gets cold down there. So you guys do how many episodes of this podcast?
I think at max maybe 10 to 12.
Yeah.
Something like that.
About 10 to 12.
So 10 to 12 episodes, which is not terrible. It's not a bad number of episodes.
Yeah.
What kind
usually where it starts, either you're gonna
make a break.
Make a break.
Okay, it's
so
like 20.
So what happened? Like what was the downfall? Was there like a specific thing, or did the energy just die out, or?
No, I think that, I could speak for myself. Ego definitely played a role. Something I've learned over the years, through business ventures, personal life. When things don't go how I would like for them to go, I could be a little pushy.
I never got that from you. Really? Tell me
more.
Well, No, I'm not mad. So do you feel like in that time frame from then till now that you've had what I would define as maybe an ego death?
Yeah, for sure.
Or ego check.
Yeah, ego check.
Okay.
Because you can.
I was just about to say, you have to. You need
a healthy amount of it. Yeah.
Survive out here, but ego check definitely. I'm big on reevaluating myself, looking in the mirror, figuring out what could I have done wrong, which is not much. But
You sure how well did you do this ego check?
Nah, I'm joking. But yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, I know myself and what I contributed as far as that, the downfall.
Okay.
Definitely being frustrated, and the reason why I said there's more than there's
because before the nonchalant podcast, there was obviously other stuff.
But yeah, I think that. I think they say what is it, business and friends in business, family in business, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, don't mix. So at this point, we've done a lot of business together, and I think even when it does mix and it's great, there's still times where you might not see eye to eye on something.
In my experience, when it comes to friendships in business, from why I think it doesn't work is because there's too much personal in it, right?
Right.
That's why I don't. Balance. That's why I don't want to be roommates with someone that I'm close with.
Yeah.
Because I don't want you to be like, yo, bro,
I ain't got it.
$200 short. This money, you think you can hold me down? No. No. I don't want to have that kind of relationship with you when it comes to business stuff. So I can totally understand that. Would you say that you had any role in that? So
absolutely.
Did you have an ego check that you needed to have too?
Yeah.
Did your egos clash? Was there an ego to ego battle that happened?
Yeah. I think on a few different occasions, I would say so.
With the podcast?
With the podcast specifically.
Yeah. Yep.
So it sounds like Jasmine have nothing to do with this.
No. Jasmine didn't. Honestly, and I apologize. I have apologized to her before, but I apologize again because, I apologize. Seriously though, I apologize again because we brought you on and you just got hit with all of the she was
the shrapnel, the little
she got.
But anyhow, no, I definitely agree.
We clashed, and we clashed because for one, we're brothers, so not by blood, but by association and just like connection. So we already clashing just on difference of opinion, but putting the business with it, I think a lot of times Trip was more business oriented, I was more family oriented, so I'm looking for pardon on it. I'm making excuses for myself. I have a lot going on. I'm looking for understanding and bro, I get it, man, you know what I'm saying? He's like, nah. And I'm like, but for, it's a real situation. He's like, no, I hear you, but do something about it. You know what I mean? So So I think at that time, I took that pretty tough. So it definitely kind of was wear and tear on the personal end. then I feel like because I'm more personal, the business side would then kind of fall apart as well.
Sounds like you're an emotional person.
I would say so.
I would say so too.
Yeah.
About myself as well.
So yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely very emotional. Depending, like I don't like feeling unheard. I don't like.
I think that in general, there's such a bad like rap on being emotional, but like the reality, especially for men, that's exactly what I'm speaking on. But like,
yeah, it's like, hey.
First of all, we're raised in most of the time single parent households. Mom is there, auntie, grandma, right?
Right. Yeah. Shout out the women that stayed and these niggas that left. Figure it out.
No shout out to the niggas that left.
No, I said to the niggas that left, figure it out.
Okay.
I wasn't shouting them out.
I was about to say, nah.
No, I'm not shouting them out for leaving. I don't know. I'm saying,
we talk about this a lot, and we will speak about it a lot. Y'all will see.
Yeah.
But you know, the feminine traits and the masculine traits.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, we're raised by a bunch of women, and that's how we see. That's what we see.
Right.
That's what we learn. That's how we learn. So yeah, we are emotional.
Right.
And then we got all kind of traumas going on that also cater to how we deal with confrontation and stuff like that as an adult. So yeah, again, we're emotional.
Do you think if you guys were able to identify that as well as you do now, that you could have had longevity in that space, or did that have to happen in order for you to get to this space?
If obviously, and I think I can speak for everybody, but if you know now,
if you knew then what you know now,
of course, obviously we would have.
No, because I only asked that question, like, did age and just immaturity have anything to do with that, or lack of knowledge? Because I feel like you can know some shit and still have the immaturity to not really, like, piece it together. For
me, at least, I could say lack of information, awareness, self-awareness. Like, that's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, I would say same, self-awareness, and then maybe understanding not just for myself, but, like, the other perspective as well. Because I'll argue for me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was like, nah, I hear you, but
I hear you.
The buts, however, are coming. Yeah. They're on the way. No, I feel that. So, all right. So, obviously, you guys did the podcast, and I'm if memory serves me well, this was around like 2018-ish.
Okay.
Right. All right. So before then, you guys were already in business. You guys were doing things together. You were doing music. I know you were doing clothing.
No.
This clothing was after that. That's the thing. So you were doing music, and I think this was Short Thing Music Group, STMG. Is that?
Yep.
So
Short Thing Music Group.
When did that transpire?
2015.
What made you guys decide, like, you know,
16?
I want to work
16,
together
17.
in a space of just like. You know, music. Like, what made you guys think, like, okay, outside of friendship, let's work together?
Well, all right, we knew each other prior to that. We lived on the same street. I have some funny stories that maybe I'll share today, maybe I won't. But yeah, we lived on the same street. And we went to the same high school as well. So I used to see him around at high school. Still was well-known dancer, whatever the case is. But with that being said,
Stripper.
You said stripper?
No, I'm being silly. No, I'm just being silly. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
I'm like, what?
I'm like, wait a minute. Let's dive into this.
I don't know why my mind said crumper, but yeah. Anyhow, with that being said, though, we didn't spend a lot of time. We weren't like locked in.
Okay.
But then I started hanging with his brother, helping his brother out with music. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Helping his brother out with music, and I would just see him inside the basement. And he would, Vonnie, yo, I got this song.
Yeah.
And then it's 4 songs.
Multiple songs.
Yeah, but my mind is blown. I'm like, yo,
he's like,
this dude is in his basement cooking up this. And I was already a fan before that. Yeah. Your first Christian hip hop album, like, I bought it.
Pawns. Yep.
Yeah, Pawns. Bought it.
Like, and then my first
Pawns, like water,
Pawns,
or Pawns
like Pawns, like
on chess.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was about to say checkers. Chess.
Yeah. And then After Effects, not After Effects. What was that?
I know it was After Effects.
But the project was called something I can't remember. It was so long ago. But it had After Effects on that project, and that was the one that I think you might have hit me up like, bro, this is crazy.
Again, funny story. Like, all jokes aside, I've hit you up multiple times. Like, yo, bro.
Yeah.
like the way that this song is like hitting me today, like it just made me, After Effects specifically, like that almost triggered me, but like in a good way. It made me think about like things I've been through, and I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. There's somebody else that clearly like understands. I'm listening to the music, that specific song back to back to back, the lyrics. Somebody else has experienced what I experienced as a kid. Right. So that's when I hit you up, and then again I'm coming by. He's showing me the music. Right. Yeah. What you trying to do?
Yeah, that was pretty much it. I think it was the vision, and then the work ethic that I had at that time. Right. And obviously we had like a rapport already from being on the same street, seeing each other in passing, and even our relationship that wasn't an everyday thing, but it was respect from both ends. Right. So it just kind of,
fathers. Yeah. Chiz. Yeah. Your mom, Scholar, walking down the street. Facts. All of that. Yeah.
All right. So around this time, you guys were both dads?
Yes. Well, when we started.
Yeah, when we started working. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So how does that work, being young dads and like still trying to pursue a career and a passion that you guys have? Well, I'm assuming more passion for you. How did you even get into the space of let me manage or because I feel like in any space that we've worked in, you've kind of always had that more of a leadership aspect or role.
My life has always been like that. Like literally, I was the youngest around, but I would always be soaking in game information, knowledge from older cousins, adults. I was, them nosy ass kids that, I was,
know more than they should.
They would have said ear to the streets. But siblings. I'm the oldest of all my siblings, so having to take care of them. Family, same thing, same situation. Okay. Not the oldest cousin, but they treated me like the oldest cousin. Right. But then anyhow, Sav, Neff, Rari, all of them, we was all kind of doing music growing up. So it was naturally.
So you guys were doing music before you and him connected?
Yeah, but like in a basement type of stuff. Not your basement.
Yeah. Nah, I know what you mean.
Because that's a different basement. Magic comes out of that basement. Not literally in my boy's bedroom. Like we would just put it up, GarageBand, whatever, record. But we wasn't taking it serious. Right. Once we linked up with, again, his brother first, it was like, you know what? I could do something a little different. And you guys know this about me. I seek information, so I've always been like that.
Yeah, and I think you have like a natural desire to share. So like, if I would have sent him a song, he'd be like, "Yo, I sent it to 3 people. Yeah, they all said it was fire." So he had like I would give him something, and he would like, "Yo, I already reached out to this person." Like without there even being a management discussion, it was already like kind of like, you know what I mean?
Right. I'm glad you actually pointed that out, because I think that's important for the listeners to know. Whatever situation, sometimes you don't got to be straight out there and say like, "Yo, I want a job. I'm trying to do this." Yeah. Sometimes you got to just show them the value that you have. Yeah. And what you can bring or add to them.
Yeah, and do it when you have a genuine love for it or belief in it. So it's not so difficult. Yeah. Like, I never felt like me sending you a song was like a burden or like I was asking something from you. It was like, "Yo, like, nah, send more." And then like I sent it to, if I sent like an R&B record, you like, I sent it to 3 different women, or you know what I'm saying, my grandma Nana heard it, and she loved it, and like, like, so I kind of got my first taste of what like the different demographics and like everything, but just naturally, just off like our relationship. So it was natural. It wasn't like, I mean, you never approached it to me like, "Yo, I'm trying to manage you." Right. It just kind of was just like, "Yo, send me something," and it just happened.
Right. Just play your role.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So all right. So you guys do
STMG.
STMG.
Yep.
It converts over into Nonchalant Records.
Yep.
And that's around 17?
Nope, that is
19.
So later. Okay. All right.
19?
So, yeah, I'm going to go 19. Yeah.
So this is a little...
Because the podcast was before.
So the podcast
was before
the record.
Like years.
Yeah.
2 years.
So I'm going to say 19.
See, I always had that mixed up. I thought that was already a thing.
Right before, or right at the beginning of COVID, I think me and Silas went and signed paperwork and stuff.
Yep.
So how do you even go, like, all right,
Silas's business partner.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, for those of you that was Silas,
Everybody, no, we're just gonna assume that nobody knows.
So
anything.
You guys decide to move into nonchalant. Was STMG, was that like documented or on paper?
No.
So this is when you guys really.
I wanted to.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah.
So I wanted to.
I don't know. I just think that's crazy. Like you guys have this long working relationship and then this long business relationship, and you guys clash and have these clashes, but still want to work together. Yeah. Like I've had clashes with people, and I'm like,
never.
Screw
again.
These guys. I'm never working with these guys again. Like, how did you find ways to get past that? Those moments of just like, you know, bumping heads and still seeing a business venture in a future.
Well, to be clear, we still bump heads now. So
yeah, of course. I mean,
because again, we're two different people. I don't know what that was, but I heard it. Yeah, we clash now, but I think it's a matter of, and whether you're friends or even just business partners and there's no personal relationship, you guys got to be comfortable with having tough conversations, right? And being able to hear the other side, even when you don't want to, even if you don't want to acknowledge it right then and there, which would make the process go a lot faster. But as long as you're able to take in, you know, and assess the situation.
Yeah. No, I mean, I could speak from my own personal experience, just like working with you. When we first started doing this, right? You reached out to me. You guys reached out to me collectively, like, "Yo, we have this idea," or you had an idea and you wanted to bring me along, and then I'm like, "Yeah, all gung ho," and then I kind of like just dropped the ball and wasn't doing my part, and then I got a phone call from this guy, and he's just like, "So, yo, what's up?" And it's just like, in that moment, I was going through a lot, and I really did not want to have that conversation. But I think that was probably the well, not even think. That was absolutely the conversation that I needed to be able to just, one, hold myself accountable that I did agree to something and that I'm not holding my end of the bargain. And two, to just know that there's someone in my corner that can understand that you're going through something, but you also have a commitment to something. And it's like, you know, I understand where you come from a lot of times where you're like, yo, I have a lot of these things going on, but, you know, so it stops you from like kind of keeping your eye on the prize. But there has to be ways to kind of like juggle both. It's difficult. Like, I totally get it. So it's good that you have like, you know, friendships, partnerships, and people that are just going to hold you to a standard, right? Like not see you be the worst version of yourself. And it's like, yo, I know that you can figure out how to do both of these things, because life is not easy. So I can totally understand that from a personal experience. Like,
what's your take on like?
Yeah, I would say
how we're able to be right here.
Growth. I think mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and I don't know. I think that like you were saying, for me, a lot of times I drop the ball as well, and it felt like, you know, if I dropped the ball on something so many times, then it would kind of like put me in like this state of fear to like do it again. Because now I'm like, I don't want to let him down. I don't want to let you down. Right. So in order to not do that without expecting more from myself is to just not be a part of it. So like finally it was like, you know what, bro, you're gonna have to like put your best foot forward. Don't make excuses, and you can have a reason, but still hold yourself accountable at the end of the day, so it's not an excuse. Right. Like, make it better, do something about it, right? As opposed to just not.
I definitely move in a space where I'm trying to be solution based, because I can point out problems all goddamn day. I have more than enough of them. Trust me, I'm pretty sure we all do. Right. But it's like, how do we? How do we get these issues in a space where we can identify them, but also at the same time be productive and do what we need to do, so these issues don't become so overwhelming? Because I think a lot of the stuff is like, if, like, for instance, this, what we're trying to maximize this and do whatever it is we're trying to do. I think that'll alleviate a lot of issues. So my story is a little more boring than you. I didn't have a whole bunch of partnership. I did work with someone. I was doing this show called The Spot. I was working with my homegirl T and someone else, and it didn't work out. We just didn't really see eye to eye on a few things.
What year is this?
This was 2016, 15, 16. I love the idea of the show. This was during the time I was very like heavy in politics. Barack Obama was still president, and I actually believed in the news at the time. Definitely not that person anymore. I wanted to like inform people. I wanted to make people, because I used to have conversations with people like, the news ain't discussing nothing about me, nothing affects me. I'm like, ain't your mother on food stamps? Because that affects you. Like I'm not even trying to be an asshole, but it's like people don't realize even simple stuff like putting your money on a bus. Like this is all like powered by politics. Like, you know what I mean? Like the fact that the bus is free right now, that's something that Mayor Michelle Wu did. Right. That like Mayor Marty Walsh would have probably never did. It's all based on politics, and I was just more so trying to prove a point. Like, yo, we are all invested in this, whether we want to be or not.
The bus is free right now. The bus is free.
Like the 23 to 28, like they're free.
Routes.
And it's been free for about over a year now, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, which is nice, because when I used to work out here, I would catch the bus to work, because like, why would I drive, pay $42 a park when I can catch the bus for free?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was doing that, and then I moved on. I started something called Real Life University, and that was a podcast I was doing with my homeboy B and Chief. And that didn't last very long, because a lot of stuff happened, like personal stuff happened, where I did not really know how to recover from. Like my mom passed away that year. Me and my girlfriend broke up. My car got repossessed. I got evicted from my apartment because my roommate was stealing my rent money. I was sending him the rent money, and he was not paying the landlord. It was not a kind year, 2017.
I was like, what didn't happen to you?
So yeah, it was It was a really bad year. And then so you know, I had a lot of recovering to do, and I just didn't really know how to like balance all that stuff out and still like pursue my passion. So I was just like, you know, let me kind of like take a step back and figure some stuff out. So fast forward, I would say maybe 2019, I was using my phone, and I had like Android at the time, and I would like go to the park and like record random stuff and like chop it together, because I wanted to do video journalism, but also just I wanted to do production stuff. So that converts into Real Life University changing into Real Life Digital. And then, but it was spelled REAL. So then a friend was like, yo, why don't you do REEL, like Reels? And I'm like, oh, that's dope. So then I reconverted over into that. And it was very faux, right? So this was around 2020. Obviously, COVID was happening. And I did my first photo shoot, and I made $200. It was $100 for my man. He wanted to do like a photo shoot for his album or tape he was working on, and his friend was with him, and he seen the picture. He's like, yo, that's fire, I want to do a photo shoot too. So I did it right in the moment, $200. I'm like, I'll do this. So that year, but that year it was very unrealistic, because everyone was up on them PPP loans, so they was just spending
stimulus checks and all.
So it was stimulus checks, PPPs, the extra $600 if you was on unemployment. It was just so much money outside that was happening, so people were willing to like invest in themselves and do things that they probably would never usually do. And I was like hitting the lottery. Everybody just wanted to pay me to do stuff, and I'm like, yeah. So I would say between like May and September I'm traveling and everything. I'm like, yo, this is how it's gonna work. October hit, and then Real Life hit, and I was just like, oh, so I don't know shit about business. I have been providing a service this whole time. I don't have any of these people's emails. Right. I haven't built any clientele. Yep. I've just been available.
Data, no information.
Yeah, I've just been available to these people. So then again, I had to take a step back and figure out what business how a video production business works. Right. So now I'm like, okay, now I'm using apps like HubSpot and like things like that to kind of build a clientele. And it wasn't really until I met your uncle. So you put me onto your uncle, and he was doing Java with Jimmy very early in his in the infancy of Java with Jimmy. We connected, and that's when I don't know how he learned his stuff, but I am so glad I was able to go on that ride with him and just he's killing the spaces that I've been able to like just based on being able to be his camera guy or his AV guy or whatever he needed me for at the time guy. Seriously, because I was like, what you need me for?
Right.
Was amazing. Like, I've been in rooms that I know for a fact I would have never, not only would I've never been in those rooms, I would have never pursued those spaces. Right, your stomach hurt?
Hungry?
Good?
Nah, I don't know on my hands here.
Well, you gotta make sure your feet good though.
That,
But
so I'm so self-conscious. I'm like,
so I definitely give
real quick. I'm sorry.
a big gratitude to no, that's crazy because I see it. It's the aged version of Pharrell too.
Right.
that's crazy.
But no, I give a lot of gratitude to you and your uncle for you connecting me with him and for him trusting me with his
That's dope.
business venture. Like, you know, like
It's another bar right there.
Yeah.
Don't be shy with the resources.
Huh.
no, facts, seriously. Because you didn't have to put me on, and first off, we still work to this day. I just did a cool event with him last week. We had a panel. If anyone's seen the documentary Murder in Boston, I got to meet the families that were affected by that, it was very tough to be in that room and see the emotion that was experienced in that room. But again, another room I wouldn't be in if not for your uncle. Didn't even know that was a thing going on. But to be able to to videotape them, take pictures, pictures of them crying and stuff, which is awful. But, you know, just in those moments, I'm like, yo.
Candid moments, yeah.
This is crazy. And then I think the thing for me was meeting them and then actually watching the documentary afterwards. I feel like the documentary didn't do them justice, even though it was a really well put together documentary. But I say that to say,
Listen, let me ask you a question.
yeah.
How do you get involved with guys like us?
You know that's so crazy, right? So I was working with someone that I went to high school with, and he was working on an app. And I was hearing your music. I'm like, yo, who is this dude? And then I used to actually dabble in music too, and I'd send it to Trip and be like, yo, what the fuck are you doing with this? We gotta put this out. Obviously it could be cleaned up and all that stuff. So
I was about to say,
yeah,
I'd be saying, let's clean it up.
Yeah. No, obviously you're very much the person that's gonna be it's A1 or it's not. It's not even worth anyone's time. But I knew you guys through that. I had seen, kind of admiration from afar. I see you guys doing stuff, and I like what you guys are doing. And then I still can't. I cannot remember the name of this damn app, and I worked on the app, which is terrible.
That's how when we first met you in person.
Yeah, so we met in person. We were not too far from here actually. We met at the Salvation Army.
It was that
or something.
It was that little.
It was on Dudley Street.
Yeah, it was the that little not school.
It is
where the swimming. That place.
The Croc Center. So we met there. That was the first time we had actually.
She's
met.
a true Bostonian.
Yes, yeah. I mean, but so.
And Ross
yeah, it's right down the street. But so I met you guys, and I'm just like, yeah, I really. First off, from the outside in, I'm like, these guys always move in a group, and I met you guys, and we used to be together every you guys day, were always very much a collective, and I love that. I'm like, you guys are definitely focused and on your shit, and then the music sounded really good, so I'm just
well, thank you.
Oh, I need to know these niggas. So,
which is crazy because we early on were trying to figure out. We were doing everything, just like we do everything now. We try to in-house as much as we could at that point. So we're doing the descriptions, write-ups, all of that stuff. So we was thinking about you. It was between him and somebody else that I don't want to mention. I'm going to just leave it at that.
I'm with you.
But we agreed on him, to deal with him. But I don't think it ever even...
Nah. He did a write up for.
Oh right, because I was actually doing write ups on my real life university website. I used to just be so intrigued by what the music or just the scene. I felt like Boston was very unappreciated, and still is in many ways, as a music space.
Yeah.
But you guys were doing good work. I used to love doing write-ups for you and Rory.
Yeah.
And you guys were very active in the music during this time. And I was just like, word, yo, this is fire. This so I was very excited to do that. So shout out to you guys for giving me the content to even write, because you guys were actually putting out music worth writing about. That is something that I would love to. It's weird because like I don't think this particular this is for that, but I would want to do that in my personal space for Real Life Digital. I would like to do that, but it has to make sense, right? Because I don't want to take. This is my focus right now. Like I'm really focused on this. I think that this is what's really going to kind of get us and break that ceiling that we've probably all hit at some point in our.
So what is this?
This meaning Nun The Wizer.
Yeah, but she asked you like, "What do you still want to?" I know.
Yeah.
What is that?
So I would say like because that was very much like focused on music. I don't think this is that.
Yeah.
I don't.
Because obviously that is something else that we will be doing now, which is like blogs and newsletters and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
So
that.
we will be doing blogs, and that's why I meant like I knew we were going to be doing that, but it's not going to be in the space of like let's like do write-ups for music artists. Like that's not something that I think this represents. Nun The Wizer represents. But it would be something that maybe in the future, if it made sense, I would like to dabble into again. But yeah, so that was kind of my humble beginnings, and meeting you guys and just as people, like hanging out with you guys and just seeing you work. And I would come to your cold ass basement and be like, "Yo, bro, I got 99 songs that no one knows about," and I'd be like, "Why are you not putting these music? Like, what are we doing?"
You know what's crazy? Like I didn't even know all of that was happening, from y'all two to you and Jeezy playing
yeah, you know what's funny? Like, I knew Jeezy years before I knew you guys, but I actually was scared of Jeezy when I first met him, because Jeezy was very much one of them niggas that always used to get in trouble and be out in the streets and just bro.
No. Oh yeah.
You know, like I'm seeing
I
pictures and I'm just like, what is going on? Stop telling me to come over.
Right. I don't even know what I'm walking
into. But then you hang out with this dude and he's like the most coolest dude ever. And he's like, yeah, I can beat you in Mortal Kombat and you can't. And I can beat you in this and you can't. He's good at video games. He's just not better than me at them. But he's just like one of the most coolest guys ever. So to like know like some of the stuff he was getting into was just like, confusing. How? Like, what is going on? So, yeah,
I'm like, so my cousin, y'all two have linked at some point. Then naturally,
so
how did we even?
I feel like I linked you because you and Noble had like a thing, right? Like, and because me and Noble were so close, like he would be like, yeah, I just linked up with that. Remember, I think one time he even brought you to my crib on my birthday, and we all
and
we all kicked it on my back porch.
I mean, but we would
chop it like but we didn't like hang out, and that was like the first time. Then you would just randomly hit me like, yeah, bro, what you doing? Yeah, come downstairs and smoke, and I'm like, why are you downstairs? All right, let me throw something on. I'm over here upstairs randomly working.
Whenever I would be in his area, I'm like, what?
Yeah, bro, what you doing? And then we would just build, and it happened very organically and randomly. Like it's one of those things like I can't put my finger on it, but it clearly happened.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely something like I'm like, yeah, I appreciate it. But because he did music and I was so intrigued with doing the engineering part, because I was already dabbling in the production space, but to this day I suck at engineering. So when I see you like being able to like switch DAWs and still succeed, I'm like, okay, clearly, because at first I'm like, oh, this nigga's not good, he just uses waves. But then
I didn't even know that was a thing. He's an ops now.
I'm like, not that you weren't good, but I'm like, he's like cheating, like he's using waves. And then I had waves, and I'm like, oh, I still suck.
Right.
Because you still got to do everything.
Yeah, but then I came to your crib and you broke it down to me, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm never gonna get this.
But it's cool, because I think what I'm getting from all of us is that at some point, or at one point or another, we all were. Yeah, at one point or another, we all were, like impressed almost. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
like,
no.
and kind of in like,
It was definitely. I like that word, impressed.
that wasn't I had a better word, but I got distracted by Amara. But yeah, and I had a better word, but like, yeah, just because I'm thinking of, again, how I met him. Music, I'm just like, bro, this dude is just, I just don't get it. I don't get why the world doesn't know who he is and what he has to offer, right? Then I link with you, and I'm just in complete awe.
Just have him do it so you come back. Jesus Christ.
I'm in complete awe with like just how talented you are and all kind of different things, and you're smart. And sometimes it's a running joke where
that's another thing that connected us is like, I don't really know a lot of people that take the time out to really invest in learning some shit. Like, I feel like some niggas have natural talent.
Right.
I'm not a natural talent person. I learned stuff. I wasn't good at dancing, but I became a good dancer. I wasn't good at the camera work and all that stuff. I became good at it because I invested a lot of time. And I don't know many people that are gonna be like, yo, I just watched this hour video and then the other hour video and da-da-da-da-da is like, except him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not to say you don't do it, but not on the level of like,
no, not, and definitely not today.
you know what I'm saying?
I think
like, because one, that shit is so time consuming. Even today when I edit and I'm running into problems, all right, now I got to spend the next 60 minutes trying to figure out how to fix this issue.
Yeah.
How do I fix this issue? I don't know anyone that divulges themselves and their time into that kind of space outside of this dude Trip. Like, Trip will really put in that work. And I think that's another thing that really like gravitated me towards you. Because I'm like, this nigga's like me. And we would clash. I remember one time specifically. So we were in Brockton.
Hold on, wait. I just wanted to read something because you said something about investing in yourself. And I came across this the other day. An investment in yourself will pay dividends for the rest of your life.
No, seriously.
Because that's the mindset.
I feel like what people don't know, and for those of you who don't know, everything that we do here is in-house. It's 4 of us, and we get on a meeting every week. We don't miss a week. If we miss a day, we'll just reschedule it. Mm-hmm. We're on that goddamn phone, and we're talking about what we need to do, how we need to do it. We're willing to take a back seat and you know what I mean? Like, first off, we're all grown men in our 30s. Well, you'll be 30 soon. 2 days. We're all grown men in basically our 30s. And
I never felt a little nigga like that.
You'll get there. But and it's not easy. But you say little nigga, but mind you, you're the leadership here. Like, we kind of follow your lead. So
that's funny.
You know what I mean? So but it's not easy, especially when we've all had our individual runs doing our own thing, to take a back seat and be like, all right, I'm gonna take a back seat and listen to someone else because I trust that they're gonna lead me in the right direction.
I was about to say it, trust.
Yeah, like trust. I trust that they're gonna push me in the right direction. I'm not a big person of trust. I've had a lot of like trauma in my life, so I don't just trust anybody. So to work with people that I really trust, whether it be you, whether it be Trip, whether it be Amara, and Amara be on asses. She don't play. She'd be like, yeah, so, and you know some shit's about to come.
Yep. At least y'all get so. She just comes from me.
She'd be like, yeah, so, no. So this is what I see. And then she'll just go in. But it's like, I trust her. I trust you. I trust you guys. So it's like, that's not easy. And that's what makes this so much easier. So I'm willing to take that step back and say, you know what, if I don't agree with it, and that's another thing. I love the fact that when we don't all see eye to eye, we'll agree on what may be the best, we'll vote on what may be the best step. Mm-hmm. And no one argues on that vote. Right. Maybe you, but
maybe me. Maybe.
But he should be the 11th vote of the person who kind of changes.
You should have never told me that.
I appreciate the fact that we work so well in tandem, and that's not to say we don't bump heads. We've definitely reset the room many times because
that's the thing.
We all have our emotions and you know, some days it's just like, all right, we on this meeting, I don't even want to be here,
right?
And I'm here, and you're not even hearing me, and whatever. And it's like, all right, let's step back because the goal is bigger than you.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that it hasn't always been like this. This is almost a year now.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? It's almost a year that we've been really trying to figure this shit out.
But then we were also for another year.
Yeah.
So for the last 2 years, we've been planning a podcast.
Yeah.
And even longer than that, we've been talking in one way or another about a podcast.
Yep.
And I had to learn, because even during that last podcast, I handled that last one terribly. I'm the type of person that thinks he can do 100 different things until 100 different things need to be done.
The same.
And then I'm like, oh shit, they all need to be done.
Well,
and then people are like hitting you up like, yo, you know that thing you said you were going to do? What's up?
Hey, I was gonna say, and it's not important, but I'm not just, you know, like talented, you know what I'm saying? Like I put in the time too, you know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, I'm not saying you don't.
I'm talking about the watching videos and.
But I say that because
instantly.
Some people are LeBron.
No, I'm saying
and some people are Kobe.
No, because I've been doing this since I was like 13.
Well,
so
yeah,
like,
that.
No, mixing music, like not just writing.
So that's something that you.
Yeah, that was like countless hours of YouTube.
I also want to say this, and I'll be good.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Sometimes when you work in a team, especially with friends, right? At least for me, I can speak for myself. It's real easy for me to overlook the value that is brought, right? So I've been over the last, 2 weeks, so I've just been like, damn, like what everybody brings to the table is like very instrumental to what we do.
Right.
If either one of us, whatever, it's not the same, right? So I thought that was dope.
No, it's definitely, and that's why I appreciate the fact that we do everything in house, because we all bring exactly what is needed to make this shit work. Like, and what are the odds?
Right.
What are the odds that we all, like, whether it be audio or video or lighting or freaking research extraordinaire or whatever the hell, like, what are the odds that this group of people that before we were even doing anything, we would just hang out on the rooftop and drink and have fun.
Still do that.
You know what I mean? But it's like, when we're not doing that, we're also extraordinary people that do cool shit.
I don't do this too often, right? But I'm going to take a little bit of credit, right? For the fact of all of us right now, minus you, that's funny, you got that, being in the same room, right? And it's something I really take pride in. Like, I always try to bring, and obviously, some people met each other through different times, but
I've met collectively, I've met everybody through you. I remember the first time I met Jasmine. Yeah, we were at an event not too far from here. She threw an event in Dudley, late night. Which was a really good night.
A little spot.
It was turned up, and first off, amazing hostess. You did your thing, and I'm just like, how the fuck does nigga know all these people?
She charged me. I was like, okay.
Gotta get your money, sis. I ain't mad. Get your coin, sis. I ain't mad at it. But no, like, you just know, not just like random people, but good people, people that are like doing shit, not just people that are just present and just exhausting time. Like, people that actually have like goals. And I'm like, I want to know these people too.
That's fine.
And then they just brought me in and accepted me, and I was very like, yeah, we're doing Friendsgiving this year. Come over my personal house, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, and they would definitely say if it was bad vibes, and I don't think that that's a thing. So because Amara always is telling Vonnie about himself. You get it?
Amara's telling about everybody. I remember one time, matter of fact,
if y'all haven't learned by now, we joke way too much.
Nah, but there's some truth in that, though. Yo, Amara, we cool.
Nah, but Amara be on backs. We went out for your birthday. This might have been 2 years ago when we went to Lawrence. That was, and you were lit.
She held it down for me, though.
She was going in. And I'm just like, I like her.
That's exactly, yeah.
I like her.
I remember. You was like, yeah, that's my type of person.
I fuck with her because she don't pull no punches, and that's the type of energy I like. And I just gravitated towards her ever since, so yeah.
Yeah, but with that being said, again, for me, it's intentionality. So when I'm talking to you guys, it's always like, yo, what are we trying to do? and obviously you have all kind of friends, right? But like if we're locked in and we speak every day and we're doing this and we're spending time on kids and this and that, why can't we make money together?
Right.
Why can't we figure out how to achieve, the life that we deserve, And that's something I say to you guys all the time. Like, bro, I know you're a family man. I see so much more for you and your family. In same conversation with you. Like, bro, there's no reason why we can't put our minds together, our skill sets together, and we grow, improve on that, and build something crazy.
We bring way too much to the table, and it would be a shame to the universe for us to, as a collective, not do something and be like, yo, we succeeded in that. And that's my thing. Like, I've done so many things over the years that I just didn't succeed at, and I can only like blame myself for just lack of belief or lack of consistency or just the lack. And just, I'm like, nigga, how long are you gonna lack?
but you never give yourself enough credit though. And I say that because even through all of it, right, through whatever it took for us to get here today, like you still made I don't want to say the cut, but like we still found value, even where you found lack. We found value. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's kind of,
which I appreciate. Like, I'm like, all right, at least somebody see, because I'm definitely very hard on myself as a person. I'm just like,
and when things don't go how you planned,
and I'm older than you guys, right? So it's just like, nigga, I am pushing 40.
Fucking grandpa.
Like, at some point, I gotta figure some shit out, and
the whole room's like, what the? Jeez, don't say that again. We're gonna blurt that out.
No, seriously, like I am closer to 40 than I am to 30, and it's just like, nigga, figure your shit out. I mean, I still look decent for my age, but yeah, I don't want to just like people like, yo, you're so talented, you have all these things. It's like, nigga, I'm broke. Like,
right.
So it's like, but how do I utilize these and put this to good use? So,
and I think that's what we're
stop saying that. I'm not singing for you.
He's a great
that's
singer.
why when I talked about, again, just talented in all different aspects, it's like, dude, what the heck?
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, all these goddamn talent, I can't figure out how to put anything over the edge to like figure it out. Like,
well, I think it's a matter of figuring out exactly what the one thing is going to be first.
Yeah.
And then you could explore.
What is it? Jack of all trades, a master of none? Yeah.
Yeah, but still a master of some, right?
Cool. I don't know, but that sounds good.
I'll take it.
It sounds like that. But anyhow, yeah. I think, bro, we're on to something. That's how we got to this point.
And I think that is the coolest thing. Because this, like, people don't, like, you guys will see an episode. And just understand that it was a year's worth of work, a real year, a whole real year worth of work of learning the ins of out, like not just setting up a camera and talking in front of it, but how to build a brand, how to build a business, how to work as a collective,
how to lead,
how to work as a collective again.
Yeah, like not only how to lead, but how to take a step back.
Backseat, that's a really,
You know what I mean? Like those are things that, like, because we all just discussed ego, and we all have it. And rightfully so, because we've all in our own right have done things that we've had some success in. So to learn how to like work as a collective, I'm an only child. I live alone. I don't deal well with people. So it's like,
it's just getting worse and worse.
I'm just being honest. So it's like to have all those things and still be able to work.
He's the neighbor that they don't want you touching their grass. Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah.
You sound about right. Please get off my lawn, especially if I have a nice ass lawn. Like, you crazy? But no, seriously. So it's just like I'm in a learning process of being, like, even in college, like I worked in a partnership for this particular class, and no one did the work. I did it all, and I just credited everyone so we can get past it. Because I'm just like, I don't feel like waiting on you guys.
Yeah.
So exactly. You know what I mean?
See,
like,
and I'm the opposite. I'm like I just said, why can't we? Everybody, let's go. Like, let's.
Because that's the thing, bro. Like, everybody don't want to work.
I was just about to say, because that's not always.
You know what I mean? Sometimes, like, especially in a space like college, like, you're forced to do this thing, but they don't want to do it. But I need the grade for the class, and it's like, not only do I have to do this, but I actually want to do it. So if you don't want to do it, I'll
get out the way.
Get out the way. Let me clear. You know. So that's kind of how it always worked. But
I was about to say, that's your personality.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to be like, yo, you're responsible for this, you're responsible for this, and I'm only responsible for that one thing, and I'm not responsible for 100 things, even though we all wear multiple hats in this space.
And the crazy thing, I don't know if you noticed, but even the responsibility from the last podcast we were supposed to do, you do that and some here.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like that,
right?
Because I don't know. I'm not even gonna get into it. Not even gonna get into it, but it just doesn't feel like that,
right?
Because at the end of the day, if shit went left and I'd be like, yo guys, I need your help, I can trust that I can kind of like push some of the workload off, but I don't feel like that. And like, I don't know, it just feels different. Well, kind of, sort of, like I'm not in control of audio, which is very nice.
Nah, but that was definitely.
Yeah, if you was doing video and
I was doing video and audio. Right. Yeah, it was tough. And I think that time we were just standing with cameras.
Gonna offer Fiverr, and then when I'm like, all right, let's use Fiverr. Y'all gonna use Fiverr and y'all didn't offer me no money? I'm like.
I was what we would call on a rampage. I just was going through a lot. And,
I'm just like,
yeah. No, because when we literally had that meeting, and I'm just like, they're kind of like regurgitating what actually happened, and I'm like, yeah, that's how it played out, didn't it? My bad, guys. But it was too late then. I already had like screwed the pooch.
We got stories like that for days. And that's the reality again.
Yeah.
When
we can
we're
do 3 hours
friends, doing business. And then you don't really, and this is across the board, like the reality of the situation is we ain't really know much about business. I'm still just really learning, certain things, as we all are, but that's what comes with it.
I think the difference is like we're willing to learn now. And it just feels better when you feel like we're all doing it together.
I was going to say,
and you're not like, feeling like you're doing it by yourself. Like, I don't like the fact that I like to feel like, oh, we're a collective, but I feel like I'm doing everything.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I don't like that because it's like I'll just do it by myself. Like, what the fuck are you guys here for? So,
it's easier to work hard when the person to your left or to your right is working hard too.
Exactly. Yeah. It incentivizes you to work hard because it's like nigga ain't gonna outwork me.
Yeah.
You feel me? I mean, at least that's how I think. I'm a very competitive person. And I don't like to be last in anything. Just being honest. So, yeah, that's my story of how we got here. If anybody would like to add anything else.
Well, we actually got here. Oh, somebody called me. We actually got here because Vonnie gave us a call.
Yeah, that call was crazy. I feel like
the actual brand of Nun The Wizer. We talked about the story or the journey of how we got here, but like Nun The Wizer specifically.
Vonnie definitely gave the call to me. I think the call he gave to you was probably a little bit more clear cut, and then having to repeat the call to me.
Yeah, that was the worst.
That was
when I called you,
it's worse when you have to.
Yeah, when I called you, I had like. I never even put the thoughts together, so it came out like came out real natural. When I had to talk to you about it, I was like trying to like remember what I said to you.
It's like so this thing, Nun The Wizer, and
yo, what you think?
But now I want to talk about that conversation because that paints a better picture as to how we actually get here, sitting across from each other after we talked about whether it's music. Not necessarily working, podcasts, too, whatever. Which is, bro, I already told you before, I believe in you. I think that the world is yours. However, I can't move a certain way if it's not done like this. The same characteristics that were flawed in the past can't be present.
Oh, yes,
so that was part of the conversation. And, as long as, again, you have people that are receptive to that information or conversation rather, and willing to take accountability, you guys can get past or over that little hump.
Yeah, so I mean the whole idea came together because it was just about, I feel like if we go back to any of our endeavors with podcasts, at one point one of us felt overworked or overwhelmed or whatever the case is. It's because like we were all just doing so much. So the idea I thought was to get as many hands, on as possible so that we could kind of divvy up the workload so that no one felt overwhelmed. And I think when we first talked, it was about doing like one pod a month. And then like, in which I think that we've already, like, we kind of.
We did like 3 pods this week.
Let's say, yeah. So,
it was, but I mean, that's a good part
it was
to
a
speak
part
about
of it.
tôt, because again, this is almost a year ago.
A year ago.
So we've had a lot of growth.
Even since then, yeah.
Yeah, but
realizing that
even
that
like, it was the bare minimum, like, which is, so when we speak about growth, sometimes it's just like, you're like this one day, the next day you're like that. And that's just not like that. Sometimes you're able to grow a little bit, but you still got some bullshit with you. Right.
But
so,
I think even that conversation, though, where it's like we came in like, all right, cool, we can all do that. That's easy. 1 pod a month, and then we had a conversation where it was like, nah, you was game from the very.
I think he signed on to that under the guise that once we seen that there was value to what we were doing, that we could build upon it.
That was one part, but no, it was different. I signed on because, and I settled. Like, that's the reality of the situation.
You felt like, well, I mean, that should have to work because it's less.
No,
for niggas.
It was more so like, and obviously, again, this is a year ago, so mindset is totally different. Right. But I already knew what we've been through. I already knew the struggle of everybody getting on the same page. And again, the reality of the situation is, it's a lot of work. And back then, I just think everybody liked the idea of a podcast more than anything. Right. So it's like, well, you know, one show a month or whatever. Again, the reality is bare minimum.
Right.
Let's just do this. It doesn't require too much.
Well, it wasn't one show. It was one day of recording. We were supposed to divvy it up.
But still, you get what I'm saying. So
for sure.
we're linking up to record one day a month. Right. And that's done so that I don't have to do too much, right? Mm-hmm. That's just enough where it's like, all right, I can do this as a hobby. You know, I can say I'm doing something. Mm-hmm. And for me, I was just like, all right, at least I know if I say more. And again, me being me, knowing who I am, I'm pressure. Yo, we could do this so much bigger. Oops, sorry. Yeah, we could do this so much bigger. Like, we could, and that's been my mindset, whether it's music or clothing or whatever. It's like, this thing can be 10x if we, operate the right way. Mm-hmm. I was just like, whatever, let's just do this. I don't want to have
the conversation though. It was like, yo, we need to do more. It was like, all right,
right.
That would have been a lot different 3 years ago. That would have been
a year ago. It would have been like, nah, I
kind of signed on thinking. It wasn't just like I'm presenting this idea of we should do more. It's like, all right, I've watched this video on how to be successful, and if you watch this, you will understand that the ideology that we're under isn't going to work.
It wasn't going to work.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I think that's what it was. You can have visual like context to say, you know what? Oh yeah, that doesn't work.
That's true.
And I also think that the hands-on is very instrumental in that too, because as we started doing, it's just like, bro, this isn't, especially the goals we have. Like this isn't, what we're given is not going to get us to.
Right.
If that makes sense.
That's fact. Yep. I mean, is there any more of that story? I feel like, not really. We here now.
I mean,
it's more.
So
but
you approached me.
I approached you and said, yada yada yada.
And again, as I mentioned earlier, we were already trying to build on the podcast, but for me, it's like, bro.
And rewind for like the 2 years prior to that, or after you and I had rekindled our friendship, I was hitting you randomly, yo, podcast.
And I was always telling you, yo,
people like, yo, all right.
We're trying to do.
And then it was like another 3 months later, yo, podcast.
I'm glad you said that. So during that time,
for you being consistent,
I was actually managing you, and you wanted to do a podcast too, and I'm like, my nigga,
nah, it's not gonna work.
Out. Like, you can't be podcast.
Well, you know what? Well, I was always
Bonnie Allen.
I've always been like conflicted though, because even like with the music, like realizing later on that I just enjoyed writing and creating more than the actual artistry, like performing and being the face of something. It was like I want to just make a song that's fire as hell. Everybody play it. I'm cool with like y'all thinking it's fire.
Yeah, but this is the good thing about like time and growth, right? Because back then, I vividly remember asking.
No, we had that conversation for sure, mad times, more than once. More than once.
Nah, because I would deliberately ask you like, yo, bro.
You didn't want to hear it.
I didn't want to hear it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You would ask me, yo, bro, what should I be doing? And I would tell you, yo, realistically, if you ain't willing to do this amount or do the work. Point blank.
Right. Yeah.
It's pointless.
Yeah.
Not pointless, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's because so I've written songs for artists, and it's nothing more heartbreaking than when you write a fire song for somebody and then it don't come through. Like, and I'm like, bro, come on, man, like it justice.
That's how it looks from the opposite side of management too.
Yeah. Well, for sure. I get it.
Obviously, we don't make the song, but like
right.
the planning and all of that.
It's a lot, nigga. We put a 30-day, day by day, what we're supposed to do, and it's just like, come on, bro.
I was trying to say though, right, with the whole
don't kick my back in, yo.
Now we talking about.
I'm just saying, like, it's like from the outside in where you're like, how you feel about it. It's like that's how you feel when you come up with this whole plan and it doesn't surface the way you see it, and it's just like
frustrating.
It's very frustrating. You know what I mean? It's not only frustrating for you as an artist, but it's frustrating for because it's work.
Oh no, it's a fact. But that's what I was like kind of referring to earlier, where it was like letting people down. Right, like kind of like saying, "Yo, I'm gonna do this," and then when it comes time to like fulfill that obligation, it was like,
Yeah, but now I was trying to say when you're speaking about realizing that I kind of like this more over that, right? Now you're able to articulate that, and it's very clear. Your vision is clear. Listen, I really like this more than going out there performing or whatever the case is. I did ask you that from time to time, and I think that again with growth, you're able to take a step back and realize, it was kind of bullshit as far as the overall artistry side of things.
Yeah.
As far as the desire for that.
Yeah, I think at one point the desire was extremely strong, and that's probably when I was doing Christian hip hop.
Yeah.
Because I felt like, it was, I don't want to say better, but it was for a purpose.
Right.
So like I was on stage and I was like conveying a message to thousands at least, you know what I mean? And it wasn't about financial gain or anything else. It was about like saving people, or like just kind of like being someone that would just lead someone to a better decision today or tomorrow, right? Huh? No. Nope. Because my lifestyle wasn't wasn't what's the word? Indicative of that. Yeah. Like I was living this way and I felt like, all right.
Hypocrite.
Yeah, I feel like one day they're gonna find out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm out here bugging.
You're gonna be on a shade room.
I'm out for Christian.
Wow.
Nah, chill.
Shade room for Christians.
I will just say this: the way TD Jakes is getting dragged right now, I think you would have been okay.
No, I definitely would have been fine. In comparison, I would have done well. I think
it sucks though that it happens like that, because I'm thinking of somebody like a Lecrae.
Yeah.
Who he been through.
Yeah, they give him hell.
Porn addiction, sex addiction, drug addiction, all these things.
All the same stuff, yeah.
And
he was a drug addict?
Oh, no, not drugs.
Oh. Nah,
but the porn, sex, and all that other stuff, yeah.
But he was still able to, revamp himself.
But you know what it was too? Like, youth, I was young. So like, and the part of me was like I used to get like annoyed by people who would be like, I'm like, yo, your song was fire, and they're like, yo, all glory to God. Yeah, but like I'm complimenting you. Say thank you. Mm-hmm. Like appreciate that. Like I'm saying that, no, you did a good job. Like I, as an artist, I know what it's like to sit down, write a song, have to lay down background vocals, have to vocal produce on your own, and like say like it was kind of like a turn off for me. And I realized that even like when I was like doing shows or doing certain things, or my music, After Effects, things like that, was very for the church at that time, too much.
Yeah,
way too much. Today it's accepted. Today it's way different.
You playing in that field now, with the talent you have and everything,
it would definitely be different. But then I was doing that 10 years ago.
Could you ever see yourself going back to Christian hip hop?
With lifestyle changes, yeah.
Okay.
Because my belief never changed.
Right.
But I got to show that. I can't, like, I would never go into that knowing that I'm not willing to like live that life. For real.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I listen to a lot of Christian hip hop now, so I'm hearing like they talking about going through the struggles, in a relatable way. It's not like, yeah, I'm so great and I follow everything and it's
no, for sure. But I think that there's still like a sense of conviction that I've lost sight of.
Right.
Today I'll be like, yeah, song's fire, and I'll go and
right. But no, I get it.
You know what I mean? Like I just don't want to I don't want to do it with because I thought about this.
I'm a little about that because pastors do that. And they get on that stage and they're cheating on their wife or they haven't, and not saying that that's okay, right? I don't want to glorify that, but they work through it. They might take some time off. What do they call it? Sabbatical.
Sabbatical, yeah.
Whatever, you know.
That's what's the word I'm looking for? I forgot.
Lukewarm. I don't know.
Nah, not sabbatical. I mean, sometimes they get sat down and they don't have a choice. A lot of times it gets found out, but because the church is trying to protect the
image,
they do it that way. I just don't want to enter it with that already. Like before, I was living that. So like when I messed up, I felt convicted. I felt remorse. I felt today. I'd probably be like, I mean, he died for my sins. If I don't sin, it's in vain.
Right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know.
I love the self-awareness at the very
least. Yeah. You got to a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. He means that.
Sometimes it's crazy. I don't have any of that.
It's I got nothing for you.
I got nothing for you. No, seriously, because I never, that wasn't my direction. My relationship with God is not in that way at all. I believe in higher power. I don't believe in God. Please don't hate me, guys. But I have been a lot more, I guess,
open
to it. Yeah, like he's sent me he had me download the Bible app, so I get like those daily. I'm like, okay, so to this day I read those every day, and it definitely gives me an eye opener. It was difficult. I had that conversation with my grandmother, like, yeah, and I don't believe in God, and she was like, oh. No, you're heathen. She's like, what are you talking about? Leave my house and never come back. You're heathen. But no, I definitely think now that I still don't I don't believe in what my disbelief in God, like I don't like the fact that, at least in my purview, that people almost speak for God. This is what God would say. It's like, I don't like that. It's like, nigga, some people are
qualified to do that.
I don't think anyone should be qualified. I feel like as a human being and God, like you should be so misunderstood from what God is. You shouldn't be on the same wavelength. Like, because God is omnipotent and you are just a mere mortal. And that's how I look at it. Like, I don't understand clouds in the sky. I know they exist. I don't understand wind and all that shit. It's just bigger than me. It's bigger than my understanding. And I don't like the fact that people like to be on the same layer as though they understand God in that way. It's weird to me.
I'm newly into the Bible, but so far from reading, like, God talked through, you just said it earlier, like a donkey, like, angels and just all these different people. So, I mean, I don't know. As long as you do the work and you know the book inside and out, right? And you live a certain type of way, I think that you could speak and say, and it's crazy because I'm just learning this as I'm going through the Bible. Bro, there's literally a story for every bit of everything you're going through.
Oh, I believe it.
So... and somebody keeps adding me, nice, right? Every time I speak about God, he has an opposing, or he makes me think. That's what I've summed it up to this morning, right? Yeah. And it's just a situation where it's like, I read something, I go back to the book and try to figure out and make sense of it, right? And I think that once you do that, it makes whoever may be saying make a lot more sense.
Right.
You take little bits from it. Yeah.
But I think that's a connection between you and your mortal peer, not God. That's how I look at it. And that's always been my disconnect. And also just my relationship with the church. Like, I used to live in the South in North Carolina, and the worst taste that was ever left in my mouth, the pastor said, we don't want the money that jingles. We want the money that folds.
Oh, well, Which
is absolutely absurd. Like, what are you talking about? Like, bro, if you don't get this change, stop playing with me.
I'm with you.
So it's just like, there's things like that where it's just like, it leaves a bad, like, you know what I mean? Because you're depending on these people to connect you to God. Yeah. And that's the connection that
the one thing that a lot of people forget is that they're just as imperfect as we are. Right? The only difference is obviously we didn't take up that responsibility to lead. So like the difference is with that is like if we mess up, then we're not like, we're held accountable, but we're not responsible for leading people to heaven, if you will. Yeah. With the church, it's a little bit different, but we got to keep in mind that they're still super imperfect.
Right. Yeah.
And those who are trying to do right oftentimes are somehow misled or led to do wrong spiritually, like being under attack and as you know.
Human.
No, exactly. So I mean, I realized, because I have a lot of church hurt myself. That's why I don't go now. But like, I had to take a step back and realize that the person that I felt a certain way about I'm probably worse than they are.
No, I'm pretty sure.
You know what I mean? But my belief, my belief hasn't changed. Like, it hasn't shifted even through all that I've been through. So I can't think that maybe theirs is, or that they're intentionally being manipulative or like malicious. So
I'll leave. This will be my last thing before we wrap up, and you guys can do it. But do you think that morality is in alignment with religion?
Yes.
Or synonymous? I don't believe that.
Why not?
I do.
I don't.
Why not?
I'd like to know why you guys do, and then I'll tell you why I don't.
Because in most religions, there is a not schedule, but like there is a way to live. There's context in what you should be doing in order to be deemed this way.
So how about people that haven't been exposed to religion? Do they not know right from wrong because they haven't been exposed to religion?
I think by the age of 5, most people know right from wrong.
But is it in alignment with religion?
No, that's
whether religious or not.
And your environment, stuff like that.
But your social environment doesn't have to necessarily be in alignment or synonymous with religion.
Those who don't know aren't held accountable, the same that those who do know.
Right. And somehow, some way, it's influenced by all of this, you know.
So how about people that are like, not agnostic, what's the other one that's below that?
Atheist.
They don't believe in
their
God.
Their lack of belief is fueled by
something
belief.
that happened, something
or
traumatic,
belief.
Yeah.
Because you can't, like, it's a contradiction in and of itself.
Right. Because you believe something though, right?
But it's not a religion, right? The lack of that is not a religion.
Right? I genuinely believe that is somebody who has experienced some sort of trauma in their life. Like you just said, the church hurt you or whatever the case is. Something down the line. My thing is, you probably lost somebody. Something bad happened to you. You prayed for it not to happen. You totally lost touch. Don't believe in whatever the case is. And then you mask it up as you get older by saying, and I'm just talking because I don't know shit. But
None the wiser.
This is just my take on what's going on. Again, something happened to you, usually during your childhood.
Yeah.
And then you grow up with the thought and mindset that God ain't here. He ain't never helped me out. He ain't did nothing. You know, and this is how I was. I'm within the last 2 years getting, starting to follow and seek.
Right.
But with that being said, some shit happened to them and it left a bad taste in their mouth. Now it's just like, you know what? I don't believe in anything. With that being said, I think that they should take it upon themselves. They don't have to believe in a specific religion or God or Allah or whoever, but like take the time to get familiar with your spirituality.
Like I said,
something.
It's just a huge contradiction, I think, because like a lot of atheists only believe in what they can see, what they can prove. A lot of times it's based off science, but you breathe. You have no problem with breathing in the air, the oxygen that you can't see. You have no problem like having to understand that, but you can't understand God, something that you may not be able to see, untangible. I don't know, it's kind of weird.
No, I don't like that.
Why not?
I don't like it.
Why
and
not?
the reason why I don't like it is because breathing is very tangible.
Just did it. But there's something in here.
No, but
Yeah.
how? It's
It doesn't matter how. The function is there. Like, I believe in the function because the function is there. Like, God is not here.
your nose can inhale.
Yes, I know that to be true.
But if you're inside of a room that is, what is it called? Carbon monoxide,
Monoxide.
whichever one it is. You can't see it,
Oxygen.
but you're going to die inhaling that.
Yeah, and I can smell it.
Most times you can't, which is why people die inhaling that.
Odorless.
Okay, so even so, you don't know that.
So your
Until
function,
you're dead.
your function to breathe, inhale, exhale, is one thing.
But again, you said it's contradictory that people believe in breathing. I know I can
Believing
breathe.
in only what you can see is what I'm saying.
No.
A lot of atheists believe in only
I don't
what they can
think they're
see.
like, I know that every time I breathe, I'm breathing
more
in
so like
something that's
scientific,
good.
yeah.
It's just the fact that I know that my function is breathing. And I don't think that that's in alignment with saying God is real. I think that's a horrible analogy to me.
No, I just think to understand that maybe you can believe in what you can't see.
No, that's fine. I mean, there's definitely like things. It's not about a belief of things that you can't see. It's more about a proof of it, right? Like, I can't prove that air is real, but I can prove that when I breathe, I'm breathing in something. I don't know what the fuck it is. Something. But I can't prove that God is in this room for me, but you'll say he's here and you'll say he's here.
Well, I wouldn't.
Where you at?
I don't say that.
That's
but like,
Um,
he just came here and said,
what do you believe
the
in?
universe
The universe.
aligns or has been good to me. He believes in something.
First off, I never said I don't believe in anything. I'm talking to him. What I did say is I don't believe in God, and I quoted God as the God that is mostly represented by Christians. By Christians. I know that this is something, and it came from somewhere. I don't waste my time trying to figure it out. That's not my problem. That's up to whoever the creator is, or it may not even be a person.
You believe in a higher power.
Yes, absolutely, higher power. But I don't believe in God. You think a man's standing over you and like watch everything you do? That's crazy.
No, I mean terminology can lead you.
But that's the thing about it, and that's where a lot of people
God.
miss. And I'm literally learning about that now. Even how like certain things are broke down in the Bible. It's like, again, nice.
Let's just start with Genesis. God created the world in 7 days. Oh, he rested on the seventh day. So come on, bro. You believe that?
Do you believe the Big Bang Theory that everything came out of nowhere?
No, I don't.
All right, then either something came out of nowhere or it came out of something.
I'm fine without knowing either one. That's the difference. My ignorance is totally blissful for me. That's the difference between how I live and how most people live. Most people live with the understanding like God created this, and you'll argue me tooth and nail with no proof. I can't prove Big Bang no more than you can prove God did it. And I don't give a shit because I'm here. That I can prove. Here. So I'm fine with that. That's what I'm saying.
I do feel like and believe that having a belief in something higher, again, it doesn't matter if it's God or whoever.
No, but I absolutely do have a higher
change
power,
and improve the type of lifestyle that you live.
Yeah, no, that I do. I do believe in higher power. This shit was created some way. We are creators, right? We can intertwine, and somehow there's a child. That shit is amazing. I don't know what the ins and outs of it are. We know the science, but we don't really know how that shit works. So it's like, but it's immaculate. It's amazing. It's one of the most amazing things
That's
ever.
why it has to be somebody else, because
But somebody, that's the thing that makes me uncomfortable.
Something,
because it
something?
just shows how overwhelmingly like crude we are as humans, that we are so because we're able to create, like we're the only things able to create.
Well,
We're not.
I think our ability.
You think lions are out here like, oh, I can't wait to go to church on Sunday so I can talk to God? No, they're not.
I don't like it. What do you say? I don't like it.
Yeah.
Talking about a lion.
I'm just talking about there being so many other things on this earth that are able to do the same things that we are able to do, but because we have the the higher intellect, or at least to our understanding, that it's in control of this God.
Did you see Lion King?
Bro, stop playing with me.
All right.
I think that you're more spiritual.
Absolutely.
No,
spiritual.
yeah, that's what it is. But
Well, I'm not the most religious. Like, I don't necessarily subscribe right
me
now
either.
to a particular
which
religion.
is why I'm okay as long as you understand that there is a higher.
Yeah.
Or not understand.
I think, I don't know, but
But for me, it's not my responsibility to try to convince anybody. Like, and that's why I just like, honestly, whatever you do on your time is on your time.
As long as you're not hurting anyone and being weird or touching children or doing weird shit.
Yeah, we're not talking about all of that.
No, you say on your own time. Make sure it's on you.
nah, Jasmine's
No, I'm talking to the camera.
I thought he was talking about Nola. I'm like, what did she do?
she over there
Pointing
minding her
at the
business.
camera, guys. See, I'm glad that you guys forget there's a camera here. I still have to acknowledge it.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Yeah,
no.
but nah. And honestly, that's a conversation for another day. We probably shouldn't have even had it.
Yeah,
'cause
but-
we're about to turn some of you guys off. Oh well. In that regard, but yeah, I would love to have like a
I would love to have that
conversation
conversation. And let's get
both sides of the
let's
coin.
get somebody
Let's talk about
in
with
here on both sides.
somebody
Yeah.
who-
Yes. Which
That'd be dope.
So Vonnie's infamous for taking ideas and repurposing them as his. If you guys didn't just notice, everything I just said he repeated.
He's like,
so
It's a joke too,
let's
but he does that in a joking way.
no, that's
Nah, I was serious this time
he's
though.
dead ass though. But so we right.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is an episode of the Nun The Wizer podcast. I am here again with my brothers. We got the guy, my guy Trip in the building.
That guy.
The audio guy, Mr. Podcast Pro himself. Me, Walk, your gracious host. I'm like, who am I? The gracious host, Walk.
Hey, this is Walk.
Yeah.
And
In case y'all
thank you
didn't
so
know.
much.
Me.
Shout out to Mara in the back holding down the cameras.
Make
Appreciate
sure
you,
you
sister.
guys like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff, share. And yeah.
And yeah,
And we out.
and we out.
Nun The Wizer.